Hi friends, glad to be back today. And today I want to continue to respond back to subscribers' emails. The email: Dear Ashley, my boyfriend, who I believe has cluster B tendencies, went on a guy's trip that I didn't want him to go on. And instead of me getting angry and mad while he was away, he got angry at me. Started fights on the phone, giving ultimatums. I feel like I allowed him to do what he wanted to do, and he still got angry with me. There were times when I didn't even hear from him for several days. What do you make out of this? Why did he treat me this way? And what should I know about this behavior? Good questions. Some of you have probably been through similar situations where you allow someone to do something you're not even really keen about them doing, but somehow or not, you get the blame. Why is that? So let's deep dive into that question right now. The first reason why I believe that this happens is that they are angry with themselves. Okay, so they're doing something that they might not be that proud about, and they're projecting it on you. And see, the issue here is that when it starts like this, it's so out of the blue. So, the picture's painted. She said her boyfriend went on a trip she didn't even want him to go on. It's a guy's trip, supposedly. And he went on this trip, and then instead of being grateful to, his girlfriend that he's on this trip and saying, hey, how great it is, and sending pictures and talking about how great he's having a good time and all this good stuff and calling in to check in to see how she's doing, it's the exact opposite. Right? It's the exact opposite that you would ever imagine when somebody's on a trip having fun, that they're not going to check in with their loved ones, see how they're doing, and communicate in a really healthy way. Instead, it's the opposite. So usually instead of calling and checking in, there's going to be ultimatums, there's going to be arguing and yelling, and it doesn't make any sense to the other person because they haven't really done anything wrong, but it makes the other person start questioning themselves and their reality. Have I done something wrong? Is there something wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Am I not enough? Am I not enough? Am I not a good enough girlfriend or a good enough spouse? You start questioning your validity. And what I feel a lot of times too is that there's a little bit of remorse or feeling bad about what they're doing. And so in the process of that, they project their anger that they have internally for themselves for doing this and lying and falsifying whatever they're doing, and they turn it on you. And it's hard to see that because usually in the moment it's done very quickly. And I don't know if it's always conscious. Sometimes it's subconscious, but sometimes it's very consciously done. It could be done quickly and with an ultimatum, even with a yelling on the phone, I'm very angry with you, I'm upset, or I'm having a bad day, or I don't want to talk about it, or I'm having this horrible time, whatever it is, and I hang up on the phone where you don't even have time to respond. And when you call back, it goes directly to voicemail. Again, leaving you questioning what is really happening. You're not really questioning what they're doing, but you're questioning yourself. And so these are very interesting dynamics. A lot of times this could be a dead giveaway for a misleading story or situation or a large manufactured lie that is being told by this other person, and trying to get the other person to believe that they're doing one thing while they're doing another. And that can be really interesting too, because somebody could be doing something else that they thought they wanted to do, starting to feel bad about it themselves, then projecting that onto you. And so my advice in a situation like this is that usually you're not going to get the full answer. Remember, there's no evidence to prove anything that's been misleading. There's no evidence to prove that anything's really happened. Now, if there's evidence to prove something, that's a totally different story. But again, what I found is that you bring up the conversation about how the person reacted. And that can be a big thing, is, having that conversation saying, hey, how you reacted toward me was not right. The way that you spoke to me was not the way that I will wish to ever be spoken to. And also, what was the anger from? Why were you so angry on a trip that you were supposed to be having fun on a trip that I didn't even necessarily want you to go on, but you went on your own? You're giving this person autonomy, but you're also telling them in honest, calm words that you don't appreciate the way that you were treated because you don't deserve that type of treatment. Also, I want you to start asking yourself too, in this relationship that you're currently in, how many times are you questioning yourself? How many times does this person put the burden on you somehow, or you put the burden on yourself based on their actions? And then their actions or words trigger you to question yourself in the relationship. Because quite honestly, if you really think about it, somebody should be acting a completely different way in the situation. So why are they acting this way instead of acting that way? And that's what these questions are. And I know that we get into these relationships sometimes where we don't know these answers. We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to figure out what's missing. There's a piece of the puzzle that's missing, and why is that? And so if you're going through a relationship like right now where you seem to always be wondering what's missing, what's the piece of the puzzle that's missing, the story just doesn't seem accurate, okay? And that's interesting. And if that's happening more often than that, you have to ask yourself, does this relationship make me feel insecure? Why is it making me feel insecure? What are the questions that I have? Are there some red flags that I've been collecting, that I have just been collecting, that I don't really want to look at? And these are big questions, because in relationships, we don't have unlimited amount of time to live on this planet in this lifetime. And so we need to really take advantage of the time that we have and be, cognitive of what's happening in the relationship, asking the questions. And if you don't feel like you're getting answers, you really have to ask yourself, is it coming from an insecure place, or is it coming from a gut feeling that I'm not being told the truth? And to the subscriber who sent me this email, I hope that this answers your question. And for everybody else that's going through a similar situation, I hope this helps you as well. In these situations, we need these answers. We need to be able to have clarity, because otherwise it leads to crazy making, but it also makes us question our reality. And sometimes when we go into questioning our reality, we completely miss the boat. I'm not saying that we shouldn't look at our own backyard and see what we're doing, because that is important. But what I am saying is that sometimes we miss what the other person's doing. We're collecting those red flags and not doing anything about them. If you like the content of this video, please give us a like here. Also, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. It makes me know that I'm doing something right. If you have a question that you'd like to ask me directly, go into the description below and you'll find my email address. You can email me directly, and I will be trying to attend to as many questions as possible here as soon as possible, and I look forward to answering any question that you have. In the meantime, don't forget to live your true life.